Hello interwebs, welcome to Let's Fix Computers. I'm going to show you how to defragment the page file today. Now what's happened here is on this computer, while servicing it I noticed that the hard drive had file compression turned on. Now this is a trick where if you right click on a drive in computer you can select to compress the drive to save space. Now the reality is this actually gives you a massive hit in performance in exchange for saving maybe a couple of gigabytes. In this case, on a 250 gigabyte hard drive that is about 40% full, we had saved about 5 gigabytes on this, so totally not worth it. Switch it off on site. However, as you can see, having switched off file compression, the hard drive is fragmented into a bazillion pieces. We're actually at 75% fragmentation on a drive that's only about 40% full. Now, normally I just go ahead and leave it to defrag overnight, but all these grey blocks here, these are the page file, which is unfortunately fragmented into a million pieces as well. The page file is actually in 841 fragments. Now, because the page file is unmovable, you can't defrag it in a traditional manner. So that means that A, the page file is going to be performing slowly, and B, I can't properly defrag this drive because the page file is scattered all across it. So what we're going to do is we need to delete the page file as much as we can, then defrag the drive, and then recreate the page file. So the method for doing this is at first we set the page file size down to a minimum requirement. You'll have to excuse me, this computer is still being serviced and it's not very quick. Unless I'm mistaken, my right click doesn't work. How about that? No, I can't do that either. Okay, let's do this from the desktop. Okay, so right click on computer and go to properties, then go to advanced system settings and advanced and performance, advanced again, and what we're going to do, I've previously set the page file to 2 gigabytes, which is what I normally set my page files to. If you need more than 2 gigabytes in your page file, you're doing something wrong on a typical desktop computer. If you need more than that, you should be fitting more RAM, not increasing your page file size. I also run a fixed page file size because the default scaling nature of the page file also harms performance, in my opinion. I find the page file works much quicker if you give it a fixed size, so Windows isn't constantly expanding and contracting it. Anyway, I'm going to drop that down to 16 megabytes, which is the minimum setting for the page file to be. Now, you can turn the page file off, however, that doesn't work for what we're doing, and I'll explain why in a moment. So what we do is we apply all of that and clear back to the desktop. Don't restart quite yet. Now open up RegEdit by pressing Windows R for run and typing RegEdit. And we're going to go to System, CurrentControlSet, Control, SessionManager, then MemoryManagement, and then up here we're going to find there's an option that says ClearPagefileAtShutdown. If the option isn't there, then right click and create a new RegEdit key and set the value to 1. And there we go. Now what we're going to do, we're going to shut this down. Now, I haven't done a scientific test to see if this takes effect on the next reboot. So what I'm actually going to do is shut it down, start it up, and then shut it down again. And that will ensure that the page file has definitely been cleared. Now, the reason why we have to set the page file to 16 megabytes first is that if we don't do that, on the next reboot, it will immediately allocate the either preset or default set page file again. So we have to make sure that on the reboot it actually allocates as small a size as we can, which is 16 megs. The reason why we don't turn it off entirely is if the page file is disabled, then it won't actually get cleared at shutdown, because when it goes to clear it, it will see that there is no page file to clear, despite the fact that the file is still there. So that's why we do that. Anyway, I'll see you in 5 when this has done its dance. Alright, so on the reboot, we're just going to go straight ahead and shut that down again. Okay, so because the page file is a super secret hidden file, it's actually kind of difficult to tell whether it's actually been cleared or not without viewing the drive from Linux or something like that. So I'm going to start up Logic's defrag again and just simply analyze the drive again. If the page file has actually been cleared, we'll now see that all of those chunks are now removed. Okay, so that started defragging now, and as you can see, we don't have any of these speckled grey blocks across the screen. There's a couple still remaining here and there. These will be things like the master file table and maybe a couple of log files that can't be moved, but they don't have any meaningful effect on performance, and they're too small to be serious fragments. So that they won't have any real effect on performance. So now we've got to leave this thing to run for several hours to properly defragment the hard drive. And then once we've done that, I will then increase the page file back up to 2 GB, 2048 meg. As aforementioned, the reason why I run 2 GB is because it's a good all-round size for the page file. If you need more than that, you should be adding more memory, and giving less than that may inhibit the performance. Generally, I've noticed a distinct improvement in performance up to 2 GB. And again, running a fixed size of no more of minimum and maximum of 2 GB definitely seems to improve things, because Windows isn't constantly expanding and contracting that page file, which again will fragment as it does so. So anyway, hope this was informative. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye for now.